What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Type QQ Gaming channel. Right now we have a new series kicking in, Leiria Stargazer. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. In all probability I'm not, but yeah, I was digging around for some more like independent or fan-made like Japanese shmups, kind of like Kirasama Blade, kind of like Phantom Soul, you know the like. And I found this one, and this one seems to be pretty promising as well. Has a couple pretty neat mechanics to it. I mean, it has a sort of, it has your sort of rapid shot. It also has a sort of, your, primary fire, and then a concentrated focus laser fire. That does kind of slow down your movement. As you can tell, you also have that Excel mode, which is a sort of slow-mo. And I'll come back to touch on that in just a moment. And then you have your bombs as well. Your bomb is almost like a sort of screen-clearing sword type of thing that you can also charge to be kind of like timed at the most correct moment sort of thing. But yes, the Excel mode, I believe, is where this whole game kind of hinges. As you can see, the green gems that are picked up from killing enemies recharge your Excel meter, and while you use your Excel meter, enemy fire and enemy movement reduces while you kind of remain the same. So it's kind of like a sort of bullet time, I suppose. However, the one thing that you want to keep in mind is that when you kill anything, while you're in Excel mode, you get some massive points for all the bullets on the screen. Did not do it that time, but we'll be able to see it in future areas. So if you do not want to use your Excel, here we are. See, just like that. If you don't want to use your Excel mode as defense against like some serious bullet patterns, you'd at least want to use it, during bosses, just before they die, or just before they you defeat one of their phases, so you can collect all those bonus points. And here's a breakdown of the level as well, of all the different sort of points and pickups. Besides that, you have your lives there by your sort of bow tie. So we have 2 lives. We're at 2 power. That's how strong our bullets are. Our bombs as well. This game is also set on to a default of like auto bomb. So to be completely honest, although we'll probably use bombs manually here, there's really no absolute reason to use them because they are on auto bomb. Which means if you get hit, if you have a bomb in your inventory, you'll use it instead of taking your life. So there's really no absolute reason to actually use it. Just keep trying to dodge, and if you fail to dodge, then there we go. That's the Excel mode I was talking about there to get those extra points. And you can do that in enemies as well. So if you get some big, nasty enemies, see, just like that, we got hit in that one of our bombs from 4,000 down to 3,000 was used there. But I think this is another Dojin, independent game that I think that's very much in our wheelhouse for 1cc'ing. Currently, I have this video and one other video kind of in the backlog that I had created earlier today, and both of them, some of my first early, I haven't played too many runs of this, maybe like 4 or 5 runs, just to get acquainted with everything before I start making some videos. And I got hit again there and used another bomb, but picked up a bomb there as well as some more power on the second level boss. But yes, I was saying, once I figured out the game and I started to record for the channel, we ended up hitting the last level. So at this difficulty, we're very much primed to 1cc this game. It's just a matter of putting the pieces together and beating the last level. So the last level does get pretty damn silly. And as you can tell, we kind of messed up the Excel meter on that one phase of the boss there. It's an easy chore to do, or an easy task to do, but then again, it's also kind of hard because while I play, my focus is kind of like in the bottom third of the screen, with only some sort of peripheral vision above to just make sure I'm hitting the boss. But as you can see, this is that sort of white bluish blast that kind of shows me I'm hitting the boss anyway. So having to look up and see the enemy gauge and being like, okay, he's almost dead, time to put that on, my eyes travel so, all the way, they travel quite a distance to relay that information for me. So, it's kind of like I have to pick my times when I want to pull my focus away from dodging to look up to see where I am on my, my enemy's health bar. Otherwise, if you play these types of games a lot, you programmed yourself not even to bother with looking at the boss's health bar and just keep going until he's dead, sort of thing. So, it's an interesting tactic. I mean, I think you don't necessarily have to, but I think, in sporting, of the games like, point system, you probably should. And of course, yeah, just, because your Excel gauge does regenerate from all the enemies that and all those green gems you pick up, you certainly can just use it as a defensive type of, defensive maneuver to get out of some nasty stuff. But yeah, otherwise, I'm very happy, I suppose, to catch up on some channel news. Very happy to pull the 1cc on, I believe that might be easy mode on Phantom Soul. It's called frame difficulty. It was like frame, volcano, and other things. It was like frame burst and volcano. I was like, what the hell? But regardless, very, very happy, regardless of difficulty, to pull the 1cc together. And it was actually a really decent run, all things considered. I mean, I don't think we got hit even too many times, let alone a CC. So, might have to go back and find out. We were only touched once or twice, maybe, if that. Maybe I don't recall rather, but going back through the replay just a little bit, I'm like, wow, we ended with a lot of health. So I'd be interested to see how many times we actually got hit. Yeah, these are certainly good enemies to use your Excel meter on. Spit out a lot of bullets that you no longer have to dodge and get a lot of points out of them. I mean, the one thing you got to remember is that it is a limited resource. So if you use it all during the stage, you don't have any for the boss, and that's kind of where you want it. And the gems below that Excel meter do give you kind of an idea of how many or how long of a bar you have. Pretty good time there, considering I think we were going to hit again. Ah, yeah. Another bomb gone. Another bomb gone. We're kind of just getting beat up, but, it's not an easy game, but it's still very forgiving, where they give you a lot of bombs, it's on, a lot of lives, a lot of slow-mo, and everything's set on default as, auto bomb as well, so, it gives you, I think the game has a very high, difficulty curve. However, they give you a lot of a lot of room to breathe. a lot of sticking power, that sort of thing. Yeah, up to 3 lives. So we must have gotten a extend somewhere along the way. Yeah, already enemies are kind of popping you around the screen. Yeah, there's really no harm in just kind of flashing the Excel mode here and there just to kind of clear off some bullets. But yeah, the 1cc, that felt very good on the last series, Phantom Soul. Very, very good. That's kind of how I like this channel to do it. Is kind of like we start a series, you know, we get to experience the pain and the struggle of trying to fight through, but eventually we get the 1cc of some variety, whether it's easy or normal or whatever. That's kind of how I like to. That's the concept of the channel. As you know, it's not always going to work like that. You know, I'd like to revise some games. You know, if one game's just out of our skill level, you know, too hard for us, I'd like to revisit it sometime in the future. And you know, oh, there goes our first life as we explode into a bunch of power pickups. You know, and I'd like to revisit it when we can kind of handle the difficulty of it. But you know, we'll see. Yeah, fucked up the Excel there. But yeah, other news. It's going to be a busy weekend. I know that for sure. I think Gray's Counter, as well as Bullet Soul Infinite Burst come out very soon. I think Gray's Counter in like a few days, and Bullet Soul Infinite Burst a few days after that. So I'd like to tell you that I have the funds to get both games and have the time to do both games. But if you frequent me on Twitter, you kind of know that's probably not going to be the case, and that I might be able to do one. I think I should be able to do one. Unless by some weird coincidence I can kind of get a Steam key given to me by like one of the developers. I don't know if I can do both. And I did a poll on Twitter. You can certainly jump on there as well. I think it's still going on for a little bit longer. Of which game you wanted more. Everyone's been pretty vocal about doing Bullet Souls instead. So I hope everyone who's been enjoying the Gray's Counter demos, as well as the Kurosawa Blade videos, have had a chance to go on Twitter and let your voices be known, voices be heard, or at least even comment down below here on this video and say, hey, do Gray's Counter, screw that other game. But you know, I guess it's certainly in the realm of possibility that we'll do both games eventually, just not at release, not right away. But who knows? Who knows? A lot of things change from day to day. I mean, so far I have met a few really generous game developers, and have graciously given me keys to show off their games. But it hasn't always been the case. There has been some challenges for the channel. I remember getting hold of, I believe it was Dejika. It was Dejika for the Castle of the Shikigami key. and you know, they were very nice and very polite and very honest about it. And they just said, like, listen, you know, we generally do this sort of stuff with people with X amount of subscribers, you know, and you know, and I completely understand. You know, at that point, I think I only had like 23 or 24. You know, so it's like, you know, why would they give me a $10 game if it's only going to reach, you know, 20 other people on a good day, you know? All right, now that boss is gone, but not without like beating every last bomb out of us and using almost every piece of Excel. And I actually had reached the screen the first time I played, and I thought I'd beat the game because I thought this was like the credits or like the ending story that you'd find. But this is actually just some sort of like intermission stuff. You know, if I have a Japanese speaker who also does English, you know, if you'd like to kind of translate this for us or tell us what this is all about down in the comments, we'll certainly appreciate that. But yeah, the game continues after this. But yeah, there's a couple hurdles to getting every game that I want. You know, the first hurdle, of course, is that I have just given birth to a beautiful young boy, so that's pretty much where my first round of monies goes to. You know, if he needs anything from something from clothes to food to diapers, he gets first priority, you know. And kind of when it comes to like my play money, after all that, you know, after all the bills and after all the sort of business parts of keeping like, you know, a roof over our heads, you know, if there's anything past that, then I might. But you know, so money certainly can be a decision maker. You know, just sometimes if it's at the wrong part of the month and I have to pay rent, you know, sometimes, you know, Steam doesn't get a lot of love. And other things like, you know, speaking with developers, not really getting, or really, like, not really having the sort of influence I'd like to have, as well as there's another, like, program for requesting keys called Keymailer. I'm sure you guys know it, but yeah, even on Keymailer that I do use to really no regard, that hasn't really produced anything for me because, you know, Keymailer really doesn't kind of accentuate your channel. You know, you don't become a valid user. I don't think valid is the correct word, but like they use one word. They use a term when you have like insufficient sort of like influence on YouTube or Twitter or Twitch or YouTube or something like that, and it's all on subscriber count, and I don't reach one of the criteria, so you know I'm kind of like a risk on that as well. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is you know, as much as I would like to, you know, jump on every game and show every game that comes out, that would be my that would conceptually be awesome for the channel to kind of do that. It's just not in the cards right now, so I do kind of have to pick my poison and kind of pick and choose. Oh, as we're just getting beat up, we're getting handled real raw right now. All right, we are at no bombs, barely any XL. As we're regenerating it now, but still not very much. Luckily, when you lose a life, you come back at like tons of bombs and tons of Excel. So it's not like you're going to start bleeding lives starting from nothing. But yeah, I didn't mean to go on that sort of tirade to be sort of like woe is me, you know, give me stuff. Certainly not. Just trying to be realistic to let you guys know, like, I have the intentions of doing a lot for this channel. You know, it's not like I would prefer to say, hey, pick one of these games and we'll just do one game, because I don't have the interest to do more. I certainly do have the interest to do as much as I could. You know, as things just worked out, like maybe a couple months ago, I was able to do like Neko Navy and, you know, Castle Shikigami and other things all at the same time. You know, and that was very cool. I just don't think I have the luck of the Irish this time. But I mean, that could change. That's our last bomb. We're really on a really low stock of Excel as well. Trying not to use it as much as possible. You might want to use it now. Exactly where. Oh no. So we're down to no lives. This is our final life, and I would say maybe like 4 hits. Maybe we have 4 bombs, and maybe 7 seconds of Excel. I guess it depends on how quick that meter runs out. Yeah, I would say about that. All right, and on to the final level, I believe. Yeah, and this level is no damn joke. It's a nice long level as well. All kinds of mid-bosses and just sort of, yeah, just a lot of things that have just really brutalize you. Try to maneuver around, but just, yeah, and here we are, just bleeding the bombs. Yeah, and killing things in the Excel, I did mention that it gives you bonus points, but it also, yeah, it bullet cancels, as you can tell. That's what the bonus points come from. So it is a good sort of defensive move. Just like here where you see like everything's just kind of raining down. You know, where essentially like I really only have a couple hits left. You know, I may not see the boss if I sort of don't survive this, so I think I'm kind of at the mercy of using my Excel whenever I can. Oops. We are now like... we're in mode critical right now. I'm kind of hoping that that last burst of points would give us an extends, because we would certainly need it. Maybe? Nope. We could have certainly used another free life, but that's it right now. We're on borrowed time. The next bullet that touches us is going to be the one that puts us in the ground. Alright, we should excel here. We do. Make some bonus points. Not enough though. Again, still not enough. I think maybe like 5 bazillion there on that score on the side. That might be where our next excel is, and that's quite a ways from it. Kind of 4.2. 4.3 now, but I think it's not going to happen. And pretty much when we run out of Excel, it's going to be the sort of end of the end. 4.4. I mean, we're getting there, but 4.5. But that's just me guessing that it's going to be 5. I really have no way of actually knowing. That's just... we are at, that's it. Right as we had 0 Excel, we had 0 life. And no continuing. And I think not too much further past that is the boss. I think that there's maybe a couple mini bosses, and then of course it's a boss in a few forms, and that's it. But very, very close for our first run. And I think we're going to get it eventually. But that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And we'll come back and play this again.